paint sprayer, Meterk Electric Spray Gun, that I finally tested when I got my paint. So let's see what we get in the box. Meterk paint spray gun, let's see what we get in the box. The box was one of them easy to open, and the first item we find inside is a plastic baggie with goodies. Some washers, cleaning aids and nozzles. The main body of the device and nozzle with paint bottle attached to it. Mind the grease, it is to provide proper seal and protect the joint from solidified paint. And so inside you will find one copy of a manual in many different languages. Let me just check the languages inside. We get English, French, Spanish, Italian and German. So that's enough probably. I'm gonna read through the manual. I've never used this device before, so I don't know how it works. I have to read the manuals, but before the first use, I'm gonna show you each and every element in the details. So stay tuned, just 1 second. So this is the paint container with the nozzle that can be adjusted. Oh, we have 3 different brush types. Brush types. This is the gun itself. I thought it would be battery powered, but it is not. So you just get a regular cord and you have to get an extension, and it should work just fine. We'll see how it works later on in the video. I think I will test it with water to begin with. This is the sprayer close-up after the first use. As you can see, paint all over the device. On both sides of the device we find important information like diameter of the device, cable length, wattage and color requirements. This is a European version, but in US you would get 110 volts of course. And container capacity, that is 800 milliliters, that equals 27 ounces. Made in China, as everything these days. In the back of the device that was covered by pink paint by my GF, we find filter housing. This is supposed to provide clean air for the device, just a regular sponge acting as a filter. Now I will try to show you the innards of the device. Let me just adjust the brightness of my mobile. I hope that you can see the fun inside. I mentioned that before, but the sprayer nozzle connector is covered with machine grease, probably to prevent equipment being glued or by solidified paint. Do not touch the grease, as you need this lubrication. If it runs out, remember to reapply grease if you want to use the device for a long period of time. Lock and load trigger of the sprayer has power control knob that simply acts as a trigger position trimmer, so you can adjust the power to your personal needs. At this stage I do not know what they are, probably some type of seals or gaskets. They are paint container / bottle seal, so you can change them if you are to use different paint colors. If you do it right, when you're done with painting, you can wash them. But as you can see here, someone did forget to get it out and wash it after painting. So you get a brush to clean each and every element after painting, so you can use it for different color with different paint. This is probably a needle for cleaning the nozzle. There is a sort of a funnel like that. This sort of a funnel is quite important device. It is called Ford viscosity cap, and it is extremely important in conjunction with spray painting. The idea behind it is when you fill it up with your paint, you can measure how long it takes for your paint to get out through the small funnel nozzle, so you can estimate the viscosity of your paint and dilute it if necessary. During the first use, 30 seconds, as other YouTube videos said, it was a good number. You will have to try it a couple of times to get the right paint dilution for the best effects, depending on the paint surface you're spraying and as well as the nozzle size that you're using. And there are 2 extra nozzles, so you probably can change them for different paint types and for different effects. Okay, this one is bigger, this one is smaller. So this is a close-up of the extra nozzles. You get 2 plastic ones, and the one with the smallest hole is made of brass. Keep them clean if you want them to last long. The thicker the paint, the bigger the nozzle, the thinner the paint, the smaller the nozzle. Well, we'll see how it works. And I'm just wondering how loud it is, because I just spotted in the manual that you have to wear ear protection with this device. And of course, do not forget about your face protection and your eye protection. That's quite important with paints. Well, so it's time for the first use and the manual. I will use it with water first, we'll see how it works, and then we'll try to paint something. That's gonna happen later in the video. For the time being, cut to the next scene. I did test it with clear water to begin with, and the device worked as described by the manufacturers. The device is a bit heavier than a regular brush, but you have to be aware of that without being told, I suppose. Due to the global thing, well, you know what's going on right now, getting a can of paint wasn't easy, but I finally managed to get one, so let's go. I began testing the device using old sandbox plank, as you can see in this very video. It did take me a couple of spray passes to get it properly covered. As a next brave step, I decided to get the fence painted with a mixed results, and this is because from this very of my personal experiences, spray painting seems to be nice and easy when you deal with flat and even surfaces. And you can guess, fence planks weren't and are not nice and flat, so unfortunately we had to get the fence painted the old way, using a classic roller. The most important part when you're done with using this very device is to clean it properly. Whenever you're done with spray painting. As I mentioned before, this is a small brush for cleaning small holes and the suction pipe. The sooner the better if it is about cleaning the device. If paint solidifies, you'll probably know on your own how hard it is going to be to remove it. So get the nozzles and suction pipe cleaned first, then clean remaining elements of the set. If you keep it in order, it should last long. You can use the supplied needle to clean the nozzles of the sprayer and the nozzle of the very important Ford viscosity cap, so it will give you good indicator the next time you should use it. As usually, I leave a number of affiliated links in the description below, so you can get this or a similar type of a device on Amazon. Remember to keep it safe and use ear and eye protection, but it is not very loud. And remember about reading the manual to find out what type of paints must not be used with this particular sprayer, as paints with low flash point are not safe if you want to spray them using this gun. Well, it is time for a complete sum up. I am not a professional painter, but I used to be, maybe 15-16 years ago. I was a professional painter, but I never ever used compressor for painting. So it is quite hard for me to compare, but I would say that this device is not as good as a professional compressed air powered sprayer, but as an amateur you should be happy with using it for painting even surfaces like walls at home or nice and even wood. These are the effects of the first use. The plank in the middle, of course, as the fence was painted with a roller. I did tell you before that flat surfaces are the surfaces you want to spray paint. You can clearly see that all the rough surfaces of the plank were not properly covered, and that is why the fence that's made of low quality wooden planks was painted using a regular roller and regular brush. At this stage I have to admit that I am quite happy with the device. But there's a couple of buts. Just give me a second. First of all, you will have to practice both using the nozzles, the right nozzle for the right paint, and diluting the paint. You will have to practice it many times before you will become a pro. Well, let's say at least 5 times to know what type of dilution you need to do using this Ford measuring cup to get really good effects. Secondly, you will have to learn what type of surfaces are best for using this type of a sprayer, and what surfaces you would prefer to paint with a brush or maybe a roller. Trial and error method should be the best method to master this very device. Remember that it is a bit heavier than a regular brush. It is corded, you can get them devices with a battery, but then again, I think that they won't last more than 20 minutes on one battery, maybe 40 minutes, I'm not sure, never used one before. And they're going to be heavier. Some of them have bigger tanks. This one is 0.8 of a liter, that's 25 fluid ounces if you're an imperialist. And remember to keep this device clean when you're done, because the person that used this one before didn't clean the Venturi channel, so I just hope it will work the next time. Remember, this element is very important, and nozzles that you're getting needle for them. So just simply keep it clean. And let's cut to the next scene. Cut! Well, that's it for today. Remember about watching some other of my videos, one here, here and here. And of course, click my lovely face to subscribe. I do need these subscribers, so please be one of them and ring the bell after subscribing to my glorious channel. That's it for today. See you next time. Bye bye!